I hate to break it to you, but looking elegant has nothing to do with money. You could be wearing Zara from top to bottom and still look phenomenal, or you could be wearing designer and still fall flat. Old money, clean girl, French girl, they're all different ways to mean the same thing. Polished. That's what we're going to break down in today's video, all while making sure that it is the best use of our time, money, and energy. We're going to cover more subtle, subliminal choices and signals, the kind that you might miss, but the ones that set apart an elevated, elegant, more polished look from a frumpy, clumsy one. Basically, a reflection of someone's good taste and the consideration they put into their appearance. In order to do so, there are 4 main pillars that I'm covering in today's video: personal hygiene, makeup, outfits, and mindset, which collectively form a person's appearance, or more importantly, their persona. Let's start. Your grooming shouldn't have to be super intense or time taking, but it should be intentional. Here, I want to talk about some often neglected but crucial tips that go beyond the basics of showering or brushing your teeth and basic hygiene, assuming all of that is already in place. Most of these are things that you can do at home and don't have to go to the salon for, which I think is really important because that helps you put it into routine and practice. Number 1, clean nails. Whether you like to keep your nails long or short, that is completely a stylistic preference, but no matter what you choose, they should be well maintained, well kept. I think the tackiest thing could be chipped nails, chipped polish, because clean nails instantly signal good hygiene and trustworthiness, which just subliminally makes you think, okay, this person is probably responsible, probably has their life together. Easiest way, if you're not someone who likes to maintain their nails, is to keep them really short and minimal, cutting them every 2 to 3 weeks, tracing it along the shape of your natural nail shape, nail curve, and filing it to give it that smooth finish. Additional options that you can build into this part of the routine is cuticle oil, or you could take any kind of vegetable oil, almond oil, and just put it around your tips for healthy cuticles. Again, that gives it a clean finish. Or you could get a buffing block just to smooth up the base, or you could add a top coat of just a clear, transparent nail paint and keep the same short length, and you're good to go. They'll be glossy, shiny, healthy looking. This is a perfect everyday work option. And the same applies to your toenails as well. Next is well-groomed brows. Now, we know brows frame our face, and again, whether stylistically you like to keep them thin, curved, straight, bushy, that is again a personal preference. But whatever you choose to do, try to maintain it well. If you're someone who likes to keep them thin, then make sure if you're using a pencil to fill in, you go on with thin, precise strokes and clean it up really nicely. Or if you're someone like me who likes to follow along the natural shape of her eyebrows, then I've been using those facial razors and since the pandemic, and that has been the easiest way to do my brows. Thankfully, I haven't gotten them threaded since then. And what I like to do is just clean out the middle part of my eyebrows, which is called the glabella. Yes, I just loved that while making this video for you, only for you. And I like to follow along the natural arch of my eyebrows. I don't do anything drastic with it, and maybe sometimes a little bit below the eyebrows as well, but fairly minimal, but just to give it a clean overall shape. And I use an aloe vera gel as my base for shaving. Super simple. Again, something that you could do once a week, once in 10 days, depending on the growth of your eyebrows or facial hair. And that's just such a quick fix, but a great grooming practice. Similar to the eyebrow hair is the head on your head. It's one of the first things that people notice. And while you may choose to keep it curly, wavy, straight, all 3 of them do require maintenance. That effort is what makes all the difference. Personally, for me, I find it hard to maintain or sustain wavy, curly hair. And that's the reason that I like to just slick my hair back. I think it's the easiest option for the summer. I like to use an aloe vera gel again for the first part of just slicking it back. And I found this product from Moxie Beauty, which is great because it doesn't use any synthetic waxes, and that's because I had this wax stick before, which does leave a white residue. So this has been great. It doesn't leave my hair feeling extremely stiff, which other wax gels or other products have done. So this is a great option for the summer, and I like to slick it back with this bow bristle brush that I have. Oh, again, I bought this many years ago on Amazon. This is my favorite hack for instantly looking put together in the summer. Keeping my hair open in the summer can feel extremely overstimulating. So I personally just really like the fact that it's all slicked back and neatly put together, and not kind of overheating me, if that makes sense. Now, we all know we should moisturize our face and our lips, but the often neglected parts are our elbows, our knees, our heels. So make sure you remember to moisturize them well too. Otherwise, they can end up looking gray or ashy or cracked. And again, these are just light cues that may not be as apparent when you think about it, but subtly signal good hygiene habits or the level of care someone takes. Now on to my favorite. Growing up, I was obsessed with finding my personal scent. I would just love to get a whiff of someone's perfume, usually an adult, as they would walk past me, and I would just dream about the day that I was old enough to pick and choose and find my unique scent. I thought it's the ultimate elegant lady trait to have. So then I did get older, and I did tinker a lot with finding my everyday scent. And what I've learned is that your signature scent should be mild in terms of the notes that hit, but it does need to be effective enough to stay throughout the day. And what I learned is that there is something called an EDT and an EDP, which determines the level of the concentration of fragrance oil that is in either of the perfume, with EDP having a higher concentration. So that makes the perfume last longer. I also discovered these Oud Arabia company brand, and just generally Oud as a concept. They also have fragrance body oils. And this is that perfect note of mild, not overly sweet or floral or heavy musky scent, which I like to typically use. And I think that's the ultimate clean girl hack, making sure that you're layering your perfumes on well. Also, I'd like to use a basic body roll-on. I have this one from Nivea. It's called Fresh Natural. You can pick any. I also tried this Juicy Chemistry stick. It's a waxy looking stick of sorts. I don't know if I can, yeah. These are great to first put on your body and the underarms, and they also help to maintain and manage your odor. And why that's important is because the body odor mixed with the perfume creates just this nasty concoction, which just yields a completely different result. So make sure you're layering it on well. And while most perfumes are advised to put on pulse points, this oud was advised to me to be put onto the garment. So it stays on for a fairly long period of time and gives off that lovely little whiff as you walk past. Now, you don't have to be decked to the nines and step out with a full face of hair and makeup. In fact, that would be the exact opposite point of this video. Ideally, your hair and makeup or the level of effort that it reflects should be proportionate to the look or the style you're looking to create that day. And here we are looking at somewhat of a semi-formal makeup, no makeup look. Now, a bone that I have to pick with a lot of smart, hardworking, professional women is that they don't have a lot of time and energy to devote to understanding the depths of makeup as an art form. They may have artistic or creative tendencies, but somehow this area tends to get overlooked. Typically, they would apply a black kajal pencil as an eyeliner and a lipstick. Maybe just tap that on as a little bit of blush and be good to go. Now, while that is efficient, let me give you some small hacks and tips here and there, which would require the same amount of effort but just give you a different and better outcome. First up, replace the black kajal pencil with a brown pencil. Actually, let me pull that up. This is what the brown pencil looks like. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? And if you don't want to get a brown pencil, you have any kind of eyeshadow contour palette, just take some brown eyeshadow and kind of tight line or just put it very close to the top or the bottom of your lash line. And if you're using a pencil, you could smudge it out. And that creates very soft, natural, almost no makeup look, especially if you're anything like me when it comes to your complexion, in terms of your hair, skin. This creates a much softer outline than black. Next is replacing your pink blush with more coral tones. Again, this is relevant if your undertones in skin tone and hair is similar to mine. You might be cool tone and pink might look better on you, but typically across the Indian region, we would all tend to have slightly warmer undertones, and therefore hues of orange, peach rather, work much better with our skin tone, giving us a more natural kind of flushed look. Using a concealer instead of a foundation. That way, I only conceal a few places such as the under eye, or perhaps the sides of my nose or the sides of my mouth, which also just creates this bright kind of effect at the center of my face without using too much product. That also gives a really clean, minimal finish, perfect for that no makeup look. And in contrast, a foundation can feel completely mattifying your features and you needing to add another step of contouring later. So this saves you from that effort also. And plus, if you have a concealer stick, then you can kind of just dab and go. Basically, what we're trying to do with makeup is make sure that it resembles our natural complexion and features as much as possible. That is key to an effortless, polished makeup look, which almost looks like you woke up in it. And that starts with great base products and products that are not starkly different from the natural colors of your features. So a dark brown typically is what's closer to our features than a jet black. So what we're really trying to do is create a great base to work with. And another myth that I'd like to bust here is more makeup is not always better. Expensive makeup is not always better. For every product, for every brand, you have to see if it works for your skin type. It may be a great product, have great reviews, but just may not work for you. So you really need to test it out for you, how it sits on your face. But most importantly, no amount of expensive makeup is going to save you. It does boil down to your application technique more than anything else, and that comes with practice. And how's that going to happen? If you stop looking down upon it, if you stop making it seem like it is beneath you to learn how to do your makeup. You wouldn't get less smart if you spent a few minutes just treating this as the art form it is and the beauty or complexity that is required to achieve something that looks almost unnoticeable in the best way possible. So while makeup in itself is a huge topic that I can't cover in just one video, I'd love to link some helpful references that have taught me how to do a more natural makeup. My main plea would be to all the smart women who are watching this. It really is a great way to express your creativity and just feel really pretty in return. On that note of creating a smooth base, let's apply the same philosophy also to what you wear on a regular basis. And it is no secret when you think about it that the way to achieve a great base for your outfits is dependent on what undergarments you're wearing. So here are some of my tips. A nude, brown, pink, orange undergarment will stand out much less and blend more with your skin when wearing lighter colored garments or whites as compared to white undergarments. Similarly, seamless options for undergarments are your best friend when wearing anything that might be thin or a tighter fitting garment. Seams, lines, creases, static can spoil the best of outfits. So a well-fitted pair of shaping shorts like the one that I have from Core can be worn under white pants to give you that smooth silhouette instead of any kind of visible lines. Similarly, you could wear this shaping bodysuit from Core under bodycon dresses. As you can see, it makes such a difference when you wear shapewear versus when you don't. And I learned it the hard way. Imagine wearing that dress to an event only to realize later that you could have concealed some of those rolls and bulges and created a smoother silhouette. Better late than never. I learned it the hard way so that you don't have to. So getting that base right can instantly elevate your whole look. Well-ironed, steamed clothes are a no-brainer. take the time and effort to do that, even if you're on a holiday. Another superpower that we particularly have as Indians is the liberty to get our outfits tailored. So at any time you get an outfit that you really like, but you think it is slightly off, could slightly use some improvements, whether that is some tucking, some loosening, maybe the arms are too long, short, maybe the pants need to be tailored, you can go to a tailor, a Master G nearby, especially if you have a good one, and make that little effort into getting those customizations done for that outfit, and it would make the world of a difference. So use that liberty well. It'll also just make the world of a difference to get that off the rack, fast fashion piece, and then be able to actually just customize it as your own. Having said all this, there are certain timeless styles that do look more elegant than others. These are neutrals. Now, here also I'd say go with the neutral colors that complement your skin tone. If you're a warmer skin tone, don't wear a gray and look completely ashy and washed out. Then monochrome looks great always, especially with slight gold or silver accents. Natural fabrics are always just such a subtle nod to good, elegant taste. Read the label and pick fabrics that are cotton, linen, silk. Finally, just making sure that your accessories like your glasses, sunglasses, bags, shoes are clean and well kept is also just a great sign of putting together a whole look. Again, you don't have to be super matchy about it. Let it complement each other well, but the way you maintain these accessories also exudes a lot of elegance. All in all, I just say that situations when our clothes don't fit us right actually end up taking away more mental bandwidth than just maybe planning ahead. I'd say attention paid to dressing well is time spent well. Now, finally, on to some things that money truly cannot buy. There's something extremely elegant about people who respect their own presence. The classiest people, in my opinion, are the ones that exude great energy. They're calm, they're composed, but always curious. And when I say calm, I don't mean dull or boring or energyless. I mean talking with emphasis, taking pauses, breathing and thinking before replying, not being in a rush or frantic to respond to something. Think less Amrita Rao's character pre-intermission in Mehuna and more Sushmita Sen's. Her grace extends beyond the screen as well. She's extremely eloquent, and most often I don't notice what she wears, but I'm always noticing how she speaks, even though she is such a well-dressed lady. Speak and move with intention. You could be the best dressed person in the room, but very quickly go from there to being the most obnoxious and insufferable person if all you have to offer is your self-centeredness. Pay attention. Smile a little, nod, acknowledge the other person, make eye contact. Be a good listener, ask an interesting question. And how will you ask an interesting question if you were paying attention in the first place? That is how you make a connection. And trust me, that goes way beyond anything anyone's ever going to remember about what you wear or how you did your makeup. And I think this is the most important tip. The elegant mind says that confidence isn't performative. It is in how you hold your ground, make your presence felt without feeling the constant need to steal the limelight. It's knowing that you are the spotlight. My final words to you, my internet friends: educate your eye. The best taste is cultivated. It is refined over time. And how do you cultivate that good taste? By consuming more of good taste and creating more of that good taste and falling short and then creating again. Nothing happens overnight. It is an endeavor, almost a lifelong one, to strive to be the most polished, the most impressive, the most eloquent version of yourself. It's an endeavor I think we should all strive towards, not for anyone else but for ourselves. The way I try to have a more discerning eye is by following influencers who are closest to me when it comes to body type and complexion and hair, just so that I can pick up on the way they like to do their makeup or the outfits they wear, even if I don't very obviously try to recreate or follow what they do. I'm sure somewhere subconsciously it impacts my styling choices. Looking elegant is not about buying more or buying expensive. It is about buying right and then styling it right. Once you start showing up for yourself with love and care, others will see it too. And that's all I have for you in this one. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you have any questions or if you want me to expand on any topic further, let me know in the comments and I would love to do a deeper dive. Until then, take care and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.